You didn't hold on for nothing. The prayers, the waiting, the quiet obedience, the moments nobody else saw, those times you kept trusting God, none of it has been wasted. So you keep showing up. You keep on believing. You keep trying to stay hopeful. Psalm 31 says this, "So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord." It says, be courageous. Why? Well, let me read you why the verse starts with that word, so. Starting in Psalm 31, verse 23, it says, "Love the Lord, all you godly ones, for the Lord protects those who are loyal to him, but he harshly punishes the arrogant. So, be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord." I want you to let that inspire you today, that you are putting your perspectives in just the right order. You are staying faithful. You're placing your hope and your trust in him as you follow his lead. So, today's Friday. It's a day to go into with wide-eyed wonder, believing that you got great things ahead. Why? Because you are not alone. So I hope that you will celebrate today. Yes, we're one day closer to the weekend, but God's doing something big. And guess what? Through Christ, he's doing something in you. And that's a pretty big deal. Can we talk just a minute about how difficult it is to be a parent with a school-age kid? Because, math, that's one of them. I was trying to do like a fraction problem. My daughter brought home a math study guide the other night. And me and Cassie were in the living room. We had our sheets of paper out. We had our calculators out. And we're trying to figure out, okay, so what's the answer to this question? Because honestly, it's been a minute since I messed with fractions, right? So I'm getting a bit of a refresher with a little help from all our smart devices. Anyway, how about you though? Is it math? Is that what gets you the most? Or maybe it's having to identify all the different parts of a sentence, like what's the adverb, what's an adjective, which one is the noun, which one is the... Nouns are fine, right? But all the other pieces to the puzzle. Like, I look at my little girl's work, and it's got like this whole sentence, and it says, okay, you need to pick out all these within the sentence, and it goes through the whole list, you know, adjectives, adverb, preposition, article, whatever it is. It's one of those things, right? So honestly, I don't know that I could sit down and do that. And I wonder if you find yourself in the same spot. Yeah. Well, there is a guy who helped create a cartoon that maybe your kid likes. Yeah, Phineas and Ferb. Dan Povenmire, one of the co-creators of it. Well, he has a social media account. And the way that he just kind of processed through this, I think is way too relatable, but I'm going to find out. See if this doesn't put a smile on your face because of where he takes it.
I was in the car the other day and I was thinking of the word that and how you can use it twice in a sentence. Like, what is that you just drew? So that you just drew. So the second that in that sentence, I was like, the first that is a pronoun. I don't know what the second one is, and I started thinking about it. I was like, it's not a pronoun, it's not a noun, it's not a verb, it's not really an adverb, although it's sort of introducing a verb. And it was, I was racking my brain with it, and I looked it up as soon as I got out of the car. And it is apparently a conjunction then. And the only reason I didn't think of that as a possibility is, quite frankly, because it's not in that song.
Conjunction, junction, what's their function?
I got and, but, and, or, they'll get you pretty far.
And also I noticed that if you use the word that as a conjunction, it is only ever pronounced that. But I guess it's because you never really stress the conjunction in a sentence. If you do, you're stressing the wrong word, like you're Christopher Walken or something. Don't tell me that I'm wrong. That would be stressing the wrong word in that sentence.
What a beautiful gift. I mean, seriously, our imaginations. And think about it. I mean, look back to your childhood. You remember pretending that you were like one of your favorite cartoon characters or one of your favorite movie characters? For me, I was He-Man. And let me tell you something. I was the king of the hill. I remember there was one year that I thought I wanted to be He-Man for Halloween. And when I realized that He-Man just wears a Speedo and a sword, I'm like, nope, that's not me at all. Oh, my. You know, you can really put yourself in a good spot if you use your imagination correctly. However, if you use your imagination in the other way, well, sometimes you put yourself in a really dark spot. Because, you see, as adults, it's like we still use our imaginations, but we use it to overthink the bad stuff. You know what I mean? Well, we try to come up with these scenarios and situations. We try to call it planning ahead, you know, preparing for the worst. And, wow, one of the worst times for that, at least I found in my life, is when I'm in the car. When I'm in the car, my mind gets to going, and I mean, all kinds of scenarios start coming around. And your body even starts to feel it. You start to breathe a little heavier. Your heart starts to beat just a little faster. It's like all these things are getting out of whack just because of what you're thinking about. Isn't that crazy? So I wanted to submit to you an idea of, instead of overthinking the bad stuff, do this instead.
If you are going to overthink, then overthink the positives. Overthink the best outcome. Overthink how good this life could be. Overthink how peaceful it would feel if things slowly, quietly worked out.
Yeah, that's the kind of overthinking we need to be doing. So, hey, can you do that today? Can you use your imagination for the good? Let's start overthinking the good stuff. Let's start letting our mind run away from us on the positive side instead of on the negative side. It'd be nice for a change, right? I mean, you could use a smile on your face. You could use, that feeling like a burden has been lifted off your shoulders. So, hey, let's do that today. Sound good? It makes sense a little later on in life. It really does. The most random skills you actually use later. You ever sat in class and thought, when am I ever going to really use this in my real life? Yeah, I know. Fractions? How about typing class? You still have typing class? You have to learn how to put your keys on the keyboard, or your fingers on the keyboard, all that stuff, right? How about those random history facts? It's like, why do I have to remember this war happened on this date? Or reading instructions carefully. Yeah, especially in science class. And since we're talking about science class, those group projects, when you work with people who do absolutely nothing and they just kind of thrive off of what you're doing all the work and they're getting the credit for it. Yeah. At that time, it can feel pointless, honestly, some of these lessons. But when you get older and suddenly you're calculating discounts at a store, it's like, okay, 30%? How much is 30% off of the price? You're trying to figure out how much you're going to have to pay at the counter, right? Or how about writing professional emails? Yeah, making sure you get all the structure of the sentence correct, that your noun, your verb, they're going in the right spot, your participles you're using correctly. How about trying to work with difficult people? Oh yeah, believe me, that never changes. That person at school you really don't get along with, yeah, likely won't be the same person when you become an adult, but there will probably be a person that fills that role for you. I can just tell you from experience, okay? How about this? Sometimes you might actually Google how taxes work and realize that math was important after all. Yeah, taxes are rough. And honestly, at school, you're learning more than just book smarts. You know what? You're learning things that strengthen your character. Things like patience and discipline and courage and perseverance. And while you're in the middle of those lessons, it can feel frustrating and slow. But let me assure you that future you will be very glad you learned these lessons young. They'll help you move through life much easier. So here's my homework for you. Okay, you ready for it? Keep up the good work. Keep being awesome. Stay through those lessons and really learn them well, and it will serve you well. Not only now, but in the future.
This is Pastor Larry Walls with your Drive Time Devotion. Kathy Geiswhite is the creator of the very popular syndicated cartoon strip, Kathy. In the comic strip, Kathy routinely has encounters, of course, with her mother, who's always full of advice for unmarried, career-oriented daughter, Kathy. In real life, Kathy's mother has been known to offer her advice from time to time, though. Geiswhite once said, "I believe very strongly in visualizing goals way beyond what seems humanly possible. I got this from my parents. When my mother first suggested I submit some scribbles to a syndicate, I told her that I knew nothing about comic strips. Mom said, 'So what? You'll learn.' So when I pointed out that I didn't know how to draw, she said, 'So what? You'll learn.' Now, all parents really believe their children can do the impossible things, and no matter how hard we've tried to prove them wrong, they're probably right. When we face challenges that lie just beyond our ability, we enter into the realm of faith and hope. It is as we face the frontiers in our own lives that we truly encounter what our Creator has endowed us to do. Philippians 3:13 says, "Forgetting what lies behind and reaching forward to what lies ahead. Never be afraid to desire to accomplish more in your life." Pray with me. Lord, when we sometimes feel that we've done our best, help us to realize that the best could just lie ahead. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
One of the beautiful things of being a high school senior is, well, you don't have to go the entire school year. On your last year, you get to get out a little early. Sometimes you get to go into school, even on those days you have to go, a little late. So maybe we've got a high school senior headed in today a little later than normal. Well, can I share a little something with you? Because I came across this guy on the socials, and I thought he had a good handle on this. And I think maybe it's something that you should hear. So here, take a listen to this.
Movies would have you believe that the end of high school is really simple. You have a graduation ceremony, cap and gown, you get a diploma, say goodbye, and it's all over. Clean and simple. But the truth is, it's never that simple. And there are 100 different endings that you have to endure in the last few weeks of high school. Like that last time that you walk into your first period class half asleep and 3 minutes late because you didn't wake up on time. Or the last time you sit in that seat that you've been sitting in all year. The last time that you complain about the lunch line or what we're having for lunch that day. The last time you say, "I'll see you tomorrow," and that means tomorrow at school. The last time you hang out after practice for a half an hour or 45 minutes. The last time your teacher says, "Have a good weekend," and it's the last time they're ever going to say that to you. The last time you'll ever really hear a bell in your life. And then weirdly, one day you're going to miss it. And it's not because high school is perfect. It's not perfect. It's far from it. But for a little while, it was your ordinary life. And it's not anymore. So that advice that you always get from people at the end of school, like it's cliche, but it's meaningful. You need to stop and look around, and you need to take pictures, and you need to say thank you, and you need to go to that game, and you need to talk to the person that you meant to be talking to. And you are gonna be a little bit sad, and that's all right. But that's life.
Real life doesn't have an easy button. You know, I've been thinking about that this morning. We're really good at playing the short game, aren't we? I'm reminded of those old Staples commercials. You remember those? The ones with the easy button? Something went wrong, they hit the button, and suddenly that was easy. And honestly, well, I had one of those back then. Because if we're being real, we do really love that idea today, don't we? There's a problem. Okay, well then here's a solution. Wow, it's fixed. Now let's move on. We want quick answers, quick healing, quick breakthroughs, quick success, even quick clarity. But real life? Things take time, don't they? Healing, sometimes it takes time. Growth, definitely. Trust can take time. Recovery? That's one of those as well, isn't it? Even open doors can take time. Sometimes the breakthrough that you're praying for, it could take a long time. We're talking weeks, months, years, maybe even decades. Wow. And you know what? It's hard while we're waiting. So hard, in fact, that we let doubt start to creep in. But I'm so glad that we have today's word of life. Psalm 31:24. So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. It's so good because we know that we can trust Him. And our hope is in the right spot because He can see the big picture. And though it might take time, we believe He is, what? Causing all things to work together for our good. So, I bet you can see some people in your life, some people you really look up to, some people who are strong. But did you know for them to get strong, they had to endure? They had to have patience. They dealt with disappointment. And they had to foster consistency through all of it. They had to continue to hope. And they had to put their trust somewhere. And I'm so thankful we can trust God when life doesn't instantly improve. When we're going through the tough stuff, He's there with us in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the dark spot, in the middle of the tough spot. So don't confuse taking time with not working. Because you know what? Some things have to work out slowly. And one day, when you're on the other side of it, when you finally realize that thing you wanted so bad, you'll look back and be thankful. Be thankful that it's here. And you know what? You'll look back and start to see how the puzzle pieces were being put together. It just took time. So stay consistent today. Keep putting your trust and your hope in the Lord. Keep talking with Him about the situation. Keep consistent through every struggle and watch what He does in and through your life. I know that you love poetry. How do I know that? Because you're listening to music. You're listening to songs. Basically, it's poetry with a little bit of music underneath, right? So, hey, let's take the music out for just a second and let's just embrace the poetry and maybe giggle a little bit. Have you ever heard of a guy named Baxter Black? Well, he's got a bit of a poem that I think maybe you're going to really enjoy. Take a listen to this.
The Vegetarian's Nightmare, okay? Or a dissertation on plants' rights. Broccoli power! Ladies and diners, I make you a shameful, degrading confession. A deed of disgrace in the name of good taste. Though I did it, I meant no aggression. I had planted a garden last April and lovingly sang it a ballad. But later in June, beneath the full moon, forgive me, I wanted a salad. So I slipped out and fondled a carrot, caressing its feathery top. With the force of a brute, I tore out the root, and it whimpered and came with a pop. And laying my hand on a radish, I jerked, and it left a small crater. Then with the blade of my true value spade, I exhumed a slumbering tater. Celery I plucked, I twisted a squash. Tomatoes were wincing in fear. I choked the romaine, it screamed out in pain. Their anguish was filling my ears. I finally came to the lettuce as it cringed at the top of the row. With one wicked slice, I beheaded it twice. As it writhed, I dealt a death blow. I butchered the onions and parsley till my hoe was all covered with gore. I chopped and I whacked without looking back. Then I stealthily slipped in the door. My bounty lay naked, dying. So I drowned them to snuff out their life. I sliced and I peeled as they thrashed, and they reeled on the cutting board under my knife. I violated tomatoes, so their innards could never survive. I grated and ground till they made not a sound, then I boiled the tater alive. And then I took the small broken pieces I had tortured and killed with my hands and tossed them together, heedless of whether they suffered or made their demands. I ate them. Forgive me, I'm sorry. But hear me, though I'm a beginner, those plants feel pain. Though it's hard to explain to someone who eats them for dinner, I intend to begin a crusade for plants' rights, including chickpeas. And the ACLU will be helping me, too. In the meantime, please pass the blue cheese.
After saying his goodbyes, we pick up where Paul arrives in Jerusalem. He was tasked by the leaders there to go to the temple and join some Jewish believers in their purification ceremony to calm any rumors that had spread about Paul's interactions and teachings with the Jewish people. And while Paul is in the temple, some men from the province of Asia see him, and they begin stirring up the crowd. Suddenly, accusations start flying. They claim Paul has turned people against the Jewish law and even brought Gentiles into the temple unlawfully. The entire city erupts into chaos. A mob forms. People grab Paul, drag him out of the temple, shut the gates behind him. The crowd becomes so violent that Roman soldiers rush in to stop the beating. The commander arrests Paul and has him chained with 2 chains. And in the middle of all the confusion, nobody even seems to know the full truth. Some people are shouting one thing, others are shouting something else. The scene becomes so chaotic that soldiers literally have to carry Paul through the crowd because of the violence. They're shouting, "Kill him! Kill him!" And all this happened while Paul was trying to do good. And honestly, that can be really difficult to understand, because sometimes we think if I do all the right things, everything should work out smoothly. But as we've seen on this journey, especially in Paul's life, faith, doesn't necessarily remove all the hardships ahead of us. But what faith does, and what looking at this journey shows us, is that God remains faithful in the hardship. Paul's arrest looked like a disaster in the moment. But what Paul couldn't fully see yet was that this arrest would open doors for him to preach to all kinds of people. The thing that looked like a setback was indeed a setup. And maybe somebody listening today needs that reminder. Just because life got difficult doesn't mean God stopped working. So keep trusting Him, because He can use the hardest moments of our story for something greater than we can currently see. This is day 80 of From Ashes to Glory. Let's keep walking. Good morning to Carla Terrell. She just sent me a text, and it's got a cool image in there. And you see what we do is, she'll send me an image, and I'll save that image, and I'll put it in my AI, and I'll have it come up with an image to respond to her with. So we're trying to one-up each other on the AI. It's really a lot of fun to see what this thing comes up with. So anyway, her stuff always has Spanish in it too. So I don't know Spanish that well, so I'm thankful I have the AI to tell me what's being said. And then it writes Spanish in the one I send back, and it tells me what it's saying there too. So anyway, looking forward to that. If you want to text me just like Carla did, you can. It's 256-967-0885. She said, have a blessed day. You have a blessed day too, Carla. Thanks for being awesome. 256-967-0885 is that number to text. If you'd like to reach out to me, maybe request a song, maybe send me a GIF, I'll send you one back, or we could do the AI duel if you'd like. Again, 256-967-0885. All right, what are we going to do? Well, I've got an ID to hit, so let's get that out the way, and then we'll continue on with some really great music. I'm thinking maybe we'll have some Seth Schleter and Running Back to You. Sound good? If you remember, I told you earlier on in the week that we had a bit of a scare cleaning up some stuff, found a brown recluse, and it kind of changed the entire day. All of a sudden, we abandoned the cleaning, and it's like, nope, we're going to leave that alone. Ain't nobody got time to get bit by a brown recluse. So there are certain creepy crawlies that I bet you don't enjoy. Yeah. Are spiders? Is that your thing? Or are you really freaked out by roaches or palmetto bugs, as they're called sometimes? Yeah, I know, right? Some people are terrified of them. How about mice? Yeah, any rats, things like that. Well, I can tell you one thing. My wife is almost deathly afraid of snakes. She can't stand the things. We go to the pet store and she gets near the snakes. She gets like she moves away. You can tell it makes her skin crawl. She just can't stand them. Well, I bet you'd have a problem in this particular scenario. Yeah, because Chad, well, he found himself up close and personal with one of those ropes as well. And he had a little something to say about it. And I thought maybe you would enjoy this. So here, take a listen to what went down.
Stepped on a snake. You know, I grew up in the woods. I was walking in the woods a little while ago, stepped on a snake. I like being Southern, like living in the woods, and I like all things that come with being Southern. I like bonfires. I like hunting and fishing. I like listening to a dude named Skeeter tell me about how he fought a raccoon one time with a socket wrench. I like being Southern, right? And you guys, y'all act like fear is illegal. Like, why are you worried about a snake? Now, this was a copperhead, because I know, you're going to start asking me, well, what kind was it? It don't matter what kind it was. When I stepped on it and I saw it was a snake, I moved in such a way that it makes me miss Michael Jackson. And I yelled. Yes, I yelled. I didn't scream, in a way that they could hear me 3 counties over. Now, you country boys want to identify the snake. Well, it ain't nothing but a rat snake. Sir, it's a muscular extension cord with anger issues. I don't care what its government name is. Now, I'm out in the woods walking, minding my business, just checking the property, right? Step on this thing. I don't care what you're doing. It makes you suddenly not masculine when you step on a snake. And vocal tones come out of you that are higher than Mariah Carey can hit. Now, I don't trust anything with no legs. That's just a philosophy in life, especially when it can move faster than my truck on pavement. Frogs, fine. Lizards, weird, but they're manageable. But a snake looks like somebody's belt came alive. And you guys are psychopaths about it, because you pick one up barehanded and act like it's a newborn baby. See, he ain't gonna hurt you, brother. You're holding Satan's jump rope, put it down. If the Garden of Eden taught me anything, is that you can't get comfortable around snakes. I love y'all. God bless you.
Yeah, I would be a little bothered by it too. I want to share a story with you from what I would maybe think I wouldn't hear this kind of story from this particular individual. If you follow any celebrities, you may have heard of Jay Pharoah. Now, Jay Pharoah is amazing at impressions. I've seen him do some spot on. He can sound just like Chris Rock. He can sound just like Eddie Murphy. He can sound like all kinds of people. But his story, I think, is really going to touch your heart. And I was going to play a song and come back to it, but I'm thinking, no, since I've already set it up, let's just get into it. Okay, so he recently got to sit down and talk a little bit about his faith, and I thought it was so good. Here it is.
So I got my Bible app, right? I'm not making this up. This is straight up. May the Lord knows He's connected, and I'm fully aligned right now, right? So I was reading on my Bible app because I said I want to finish the Bible. I want to read the whole thing, right?
Wow.
So I had it. I was reading my Bible app, but it didn't feel right because every time you're on your Bible app, you get all these distractions.
Yeah.
You got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got all these things coming up. And I said, the Word of God should not be limited to an app. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a hard Bible like I had when I was a kid, you know? Yeah. And look, that ain't even the punch, y'all. It ain't over. Now, my Bible was blue. My Bible was blue. It had Jared A. Farrell on it. I said, I'm going to get myself a Bible like that. I was in Columbus, Ohio, and it was the Friday night show, and the show was supposed to be canceled, right? Yeah. The 10 o'clock show, the tickets picked up miraculously, right? There was a pastor that drove all the way from, I think it was Tennessee, and he didn't get in, but he stayed outside of the show. He came up to me after the show. He goes, God told me to give you this. It was a blue Bible with my name on it. And here's the kicker. I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. And the Bible was bookmarked at the exact mark that I stopped reading on my Bible app. Absolutely. I said, okay. I said, all right, I'm going to get myself together.
As we get ready to wrap up this week, I just want to remind you of something. Do not underestimate what God can do through a person who refuses to quit. Oh, we've talked about it this week. We've talked about a theme. This has been the theme for this week. Watch what God does. And here's what I hope you carry into this weekend with you. This week, your faith was not wasted. Every prayer mattered. Every moment of obedience mattered. Every time you chose not to give up mattered. So don't stop now. Keep trusting. Keep moving forward. Keep showing up. Keep believing. And thanks so much for spending your mornings with me this week here on the Lifeline Morning Show. If you've gotten any encouragement here, I just want to remind you, the shows, well, they pop up on 5 platforms in podcast form. On Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, YouTube Podcast at noon every day. So if you want to go back and hear something, you can. If you hear something you think someone else needs to hear, you can share it with them. Thank you for doing that. It really means a lot. So please subscribe, share it with a friend, and you know what? I want you to come back on Monday, ready to go again, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. So I hope you have the best weekend ever. So be strong, stay courageous, watch what God does. Trust and obey. There is no other way. Let's go. Have a great weekend.